Ba, 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 ba. Hello. Hello, and welcome to another movie review. Yes. I've been enjoying doing these, so I thought I'd do another one of these rather than do a gaming thing, because these are fun. Yes, so today we'll be looking at Avengers Assemble, which this is the proper version, the DVD, rather than what happened before. So I can actually read the blurb for you. So, the general ruling here. So Marvel presents Marvel's Avengers Assemble. The superhero team up of a lifetime. Iconic Marvel superheroes Iron Man, there, the Incredible Hulk, Thor, Captain America assemble for the first time ever in this new action-packed Marvel saga starring Robert Downey Jr., Scarlett Johansson, and Samuel L. Jackson. Don't know why they just specify them. Directed by Joss Whedon, who mentioned before. When an unexpected enemy emerges that threatens global safety and security, director Nick Fury, director of the international peacekeeping agency S.H.I.E.L.D., finds himself needing a team to pull the world back from the brink of disaster. Marvel's Avengers Assemble is packed with action, adventure, and spectacular special effects that'll knock your socks off. Well, 2012 special effects. Yes, because this film was released in 2012. Specifically, I believe... Excuse me. May 4th, 2012. Well, that was in the United States, so I think presumably it had been around the same time. Yes, and... Yes, this film was released... Yeah, it was the last film of Phase 1 of the MCU. So Phase 2 starts with... Iron Man 3, which would have been the next film, which will probably be a while before we get to that, because we've still got a lot of stuff to get to. So this film stars Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, as I showed before, Chris Evans, Mark Ruffalo, Chris Hemsworth, Scarlett Johansson, Jeremy Renner. If you want me to tell you, if you want to know who they are and you haven't watched the Age of Ultron video, watch that, because I explained who they are in here. Tom Hiddleston is in this movie as Loki, who is the god of mischief and Thor's half-brother, and is the villain of this film, and a wonderful villain he is. One of the best Marvel villains. One of them. I'd argue Thanos is better, but, yeah, there's can be an argument there. Clark Gregg as Agent Coulson. His last movie... Technically, Captain Marvel is set in the 90s, so technically this is the last film of his life, because he, dies in this film, but then he's resurrected in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. through weird stuff to do with his brain in Tahiti, and all that. Watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it's great. Kobe Smulders is Maria Hill, who I think I said before is like an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., but she's a high-up S.H.I.E.L.D. member. Stellan Skarsgård, who's Eric Selvig, who in this film gets brainwashed. I'll explain about that in a minute. And Samuel L. Jackson, as I said, is the guy. Where is he? He's on here, isn't he? There he is. Yes. I could put this down now. Yes. Yes, this film was, directed and written by Joss Whedon, and Zach Penn did the story as well. Produced by Kevin Feige, of course. Alan Silvestri did the music. The music I did a little singing of at the start. I hope you liked it. It's 143 minutes long, so that's 2 minutes 23. 2 hours 23, rather. Not 2 minutes 23. It's a very short film. It's a YouTube film. The budget for this film was $220 million, and at the box office it grossed $1.519 billion. So that's a very large profit. It's like a profit of 1.3 billion, which is very good. And the film received praise for Whedon's direction and screenplay, visual effects, action sequences, acting, and musical score. And it got a load of awards and stuff, which I'll get to. numerous box office and become the third highest grossing film of all time at the time of its release, and the highest grossing film of 2012. And in 2017, it was featured as one of the 100 greatest movies of all time in an Empire magazine poll. That's from that. So here's the plot. Right. So, the Asgardian Loki, as I said, encounters the Other, the leader of this extraterrestrial race known as the Chitauri. In exchange for retrieving the Tesseract, a powerful energy source, which is like a big blue cube, which everyone remembers. If you remember, when I was on about Infinity War, the blue cube, the Tesseract turns out to be one of the Infinity Stones. And so technically Loki is in possession of one, because he has the scepter, and he's trying to get the second one, which is the cube. The Other promises Loki an army in which he can subjugate Earth. And Nick Fury, director, while this is happening, Nick Fury and Eric Selvig are experimenting on the Tesseract because they fished it out of the sea at the end of some point before the ending of Captain America: The First Avenger. Eric Selvig is leading a team experimenting on the Tesseract. The Tesseract suddenly activates and opens a wormhole, and this allows Loki to reach Earth. And Loki steals the Tesseract. He enslaves Selvig and Clint Barton, or Hawkeye, and leaves and blows up the military base that S.H.I.E.L.D. have set up. And in doing so, Fury reactivates the Avengers Initiative. Natasha Romanoff recruits Bruce Banner to try and trace it because it emits gamma radiation. If you don't know who the Hulk is, big green guy, muscly go. When he gets angry, Bruce Banner turns into the Hulk, and it's all through gamma radiation because he was exposed to it and stuff. Yeah. Fury approaches Steve Rogers to retrieve it. Phil Coulson visits Stark to go over it. Loki goes to Germany to try and steal some iridium, which apparently will stabilise the Tesseract, allowing him to use it. And this is the famous kneel scene with Loki where he walks out, destroys the police thing, and he goes, "Kneel, everyone, kneel." And then he goes, "Isn't this what you want? Your perfect state." And then the old guy stands up and goes, "We do not, we do not bow to men like you." And someone's like, "Never again." And then Iron Man, Captain America, and Black Widow turn up. Loki surrenders, and then while they're on the plane, while they're being escorted, Thor arrives and freeing him, hoping to convince him to abandon his plan and return to Asgard. Thor ends up in a fight with Iron Man, but Captain America stops them from properly fighting. Loki ends up in the helicarrier, which is the big, aircraft carrier, which that's what's called the helicarrier. Yes. And he's imprisoned in a cage that's meant to hold the Hulk. So the Avengers are divided over how to approach Loki, and the fact that S.H.I.E.L.D. wants the Tesseract to produce their own weapons, or as kind of in the meta, which is quite weird, and quite fourth wall breaky, it's called Phase 2, which is interesting because Phase 2 is the next step for the Marvel films after this. As they argue, Loki's other possessed agents attack the helicarrier, and the stress causes causes Banner to become the Hulk. And so Hulk starts smashing up the thing. He runs after Black Widow, and there's a really cool shot of Black Widow's running through this thing, and then Hulk's bashing his way through things like this. Don't know why, it's some helicopter motion. It's like a little dance. I'm the Hulk. Her. Yes. Nox Barton. Thor attempts to stop the Hulk's rage while Stark and Rogers restart an engine that was damaged because the ship could just fall and crash and everyone will die. Romanov knocks Barton unconscious, which breaks his mind control because they end up in a fight, even though they're good friends. Loki escapes after killing Coulson. Coulson gets stabbed through the back, which in some film versions, they edited out. They edit out the spike going through Coulson's chest and the blood that comes through it. But there are other versions that actually show it. I'm pretty sure this DVD is a 12 because of that. I think originally some of the films they tried to PG it, so they didn't show that. But yeah, I'm pretty sure this version does. So, depends which version you saw. You might have seen him getting stabbed properly or not. It depends. And Fury uses Coulson's death to motivate the Avengers into working as a team. Because Coulson shoots Loki after he's been stabbed. He shoots him with the gun of the Destroyer soldier that they made. Loki uses the Tesseract and a wormhole generator that Silvestri helped build to open a wormhole above Stark Tower to the Chitauri fleet in space, thus starting the invasion of New York and that famous, iconic thing. All the Avengers, as they are now known, rally in defence of New York, and together the Avengers battle the Chitauri. There's that famous shot of the spinning circle. I don't know if it's on the back. Is it on the back? No, it's not. There's that famous shot of them, Iron Man flies down and they're all and it's a circle and the camera spins around. It's great. The Hulk beats Loki into submission. Romanoff makes her way to the generator and Selvig is freed from the mind control and he reveals that the Scepter can shut down the generator. And Fury's superiors from the World Security Council, who are the big government, they're the people above S.H.I.E.L.D., they're the government officials who run it, kind of. They want to end the invasion by launching a nuclear missile on Manhattan. So they kind of want to destroy New York because they think we're done for, that nothing else can be done. So they do that. While doing that, Stark intercepts the missile and takes it through the wormhole into space. Iron Man goes into space. And as the missile detonates, it destroys the Chitauri mothership and disables all the forces on Earth. And Stark's suit loses power and he starts to fall. Hulk saves him, grabs him. In the aftermath, Thor returns with Loki and the Tesseract to Asgard, where Loki will face justice, which leads into Thor 2. And in the mid-credit scenes, the other confers with his master, Thanos, about the failed attack on Earth. And Thanos turns around, looks, smiles. That Thanos, by the way, is not Josh Brolin. That Thanos was a different actor, because I don't think they'd properly cast him yet. They just needed to include him in some respect. And so, that's why he actually looks different to Thanos later on. I'd argue that first one looked a bit more comic accurate. Because he had the squished face but wider face. And he had the proper helmet, but yeah, I don't know. Right, yes, this is just all the cast. It's just saying all the characters. Clark Gregg, an agent with S.H.I.E.L.D. oversees many of the division's field operations. Stan Skarsgård, Samuel Jackson. Gwyneth Paltrow and Maximiliano Hernandez play Pepper Potts and Jasper Sitwell. Jasper Sitwell is an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. who turns up later in Captain America Winter Soldier, and he's more important in Winter Soldier as well. Paul Bettany is Jarvis in this film because he hasn't become Vision yet. Alexis Denisov portrays the other. Damien Poitier portrays his master, Thanos, who is apparently unnamed in the film. And apparently the actor ended up turning up in Captain America Civil War. Who is he in Civil War? Let's have a look. No. As Crossbones Mercenary. So he's just a guy. Okay. Stan Lee turns up in a news report. Harry Dean Stanton, who is famous for The Green Mile. He's the guy, the old guy who always goes, I'm walking the mile. And then when he sits down, he's like, what would you like as your last thing? I like gravy on potatoes. That scene. that he turns up as a security guard. We're on call as a brief role as a shield bridge tech guy, and somebody plays as in a brief role as a police officer. Pre-production, December 2010. Sorry about this, I'm just having a look. The film contains more than 2,200 visual effects shots completed by 14 different companies. And a lot of it is done by like them wearing stuff. In November, Marvel announced that Alan Silvestri would write and compose the score for the Avengers. Alan Silvestri has done a lot of music for a lot of films. If you search Alan Silvestri, you'll find a lot of films that he's done. There was an 8-issue comic book prelude to the film, which is to do with like some of the characters and how they got to like the different versions. A video game based on the film was planned for the release. It was going to be a first-person shooter / brawler, and the game was cancelled because THQ died. And in May 2012, and they announced there was going to be a game for the Kinect and the Wii U called Marvel Avengers Battle for Earth, which probably was released. Yeah, that looks like it was released. Yes, and Disney announced that the film's title would be changed in Britain to avoid confusion with the television series of the same name and the film adaptation, because in America it's known as The Avengers, but there was a TV show in the 60s and the 80s, and so that's why this version that I have is called Avengers Assemble, because I live in Britain. But it would be called simply Avengers Assemble. The title is Avengers Assemble. The film's world premiere was April 11th, 2012, but and then it came out later on. Box office, here we are. The Avengers grossed $623.4 million in America and Canada. Go Canada. Woohoo. And $895.5 million in other territories, for a worldwide total of $1.519 billion. Third highest grossing film of all time, highest grossing comic book adaptation at the time. All of these are at the time of release. Highest grossing superhero film and the highest grossing film ever released by Walt Disney Studios. The films, and because at this point, were they owned by Disney? No, I thought they'd officially owned Disney by 2013. I don't know. Avengers also became the 5th film distributed by Disney and the 12th film overall to earn more than $1 billion. It was the first Marvel production to generate $1 billion in ticket sales. And it's got a load of records for stuff. Critical response on Rotten Tomatoes, approval rating of 91% with an average score of 8.1 out of 10. And that's based on 362 reviews. The Hollywood Reporter gave a positive review. Where are the critiques? Here we are. No. Firstly, believe that while The Avengers is hardly worth raging about, its failures are significant and dispiriting. This is according to somebody from the New York Times. The light amusing bits cannot overcome the grinding, hectic emptiness, the bloated cynicism that is less a shortcoming with this particular film than a feature of the genre. I disagree with him, but performances of several cast members was a frequent topic in the critiques. In particular, Mark Ruffalo's portrayal was well received by commentators. Proclaimed Ruffalo's acting to be one of the film's highlights alongside Robert Downey Jr.'s. Favoured his work in Iron Man over his acting in The Avengers. Okay. Oh yeah. The Avengers has garnered numerous awards and nominations, including an Academy Award nomination for Best Visual Effects, so that was the Oscars, and a BAFTA nomination for Best Special Visual Effects. The film has been nominated for 3 Critics' Choice Awards, 13 People's Choice Awards, winning 3 of them, 11 Teen Choice Awards, winning 2, Hugo Award for Best Dramatic Presentation, and then the sequels are, Age of Ultron, Infinity War, Endgame. And again, there is a What If episode called What If the World Lost Its Mightiest Heroes, which is the one of what if everyone died. And I think, who's left? It's like one person. There's like Hulk's left, I think. And, it's about Fury. It's mainly about Fury, and he's going around trying to find everyone, trying to save them, but it doesn't work. And it's to do with Ant-Man, because he feels guilty that S.H.I.E.L.D. killed his wife in that universe. No, his daughter. Killed his daughter. Because they sent his daughter off to somewhere that would kill him. Right. Tesseract is based on the Cosmic Cube. Yeah, in the comics it was known as the Cosmic Cube. The square. Oh, there is something here regarding the whole Disney stuff. As part of the deal, transferring to the distribution rights of the Avengers and Iron Man 3 from Paramount to Disney, Paramount's logo appears in the films. However, Disney is credited, so technically both companies profited from it, but I think Disney at that point were owning it. Yes. So personal opinion, actually. I love this film, for obvious reasons, because it's the benchmark, it's the building up point of Phase 1, and it's a great film, and it's a great comedy film as well. Action film is alright. Visual effects are a bit, but it's 2012, so you can't really complain. I really like the portrayal of all the characters. I disagree with the guy saying, Robert Downey Jr. wasn't. I think he's on top form in all the films that he's in. Like when he's playing Tony Stark. So, I believe that, this wonderful film, and it sets a benchmark for all the other Avengers films, because this is like the big epic film, and all the others try and go bigger. Because Age of Ultron, instead of just destroying New York, that is trying to destroy the world. Infinity War does destroy the whole world. Well, half of the whole world, but it does affect the whole world and the whole universe as a whole. An Endgame is much bigger because that's dealing with the implications of if all the universe has been destroyed, then what's left? And what do the people do with the stuff they've left behind? But yes, that is it for the Avengers, and that is it for all my reviews of all the Avengers films. They've all been completed. Hooray. So, next, we have finished all of the A's. All of the A DVDs that I own. As shown in the last video, I had some comments saying I should review the Cornetto trilogy. When I get to Hot Fuzz, I'll try and I'll do Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, World's End as like one. I'll do them as 3 separate videos at that point when I get to it, but that's when I get to that. But we're currently on all the B's, and for my DVDs, for some reason, I only have one B DVD. That's Black Panther. Because I don't own Black Widow on DVD. That's on Disney Plus. And I watched it in cinemas first anyway. So we'll be looking at Black Panther next time. It's a good film. R.I.P. Yes, so thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I think everyone enjoys the first Avengers film. So, yeah. And if you haven't seen it, I doubt you'll be watching this, because And also, I doubt you'll be watching a lot of the other Marvel films, because why would you watch all the other Marvel films and not this? I don't know. Anyway, thank you for watching, and a goodbye.